We grow when we give.
We grow when we give.
We grow when we give.
Nosotros crecemos cuando damos.
We grow when we give.
与えるとき成長する。
We grow when we give.
Welcome to R.O.G, Return on Generosity, a podcast celebrating generosity at work. Not financial giving, giving valuable time, alternative perspectives, and genuine collaboration. Welcome back to R.O.G, Return on Generosity podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Cassidy. Today we're diving into an often overlooked space for leadership generosity, your email inbox. Emails are a tool of communication, but they can easily become overwhelming, transactional, and impersonal. A generous leader understands that email isn't just about efficiency. It's about connection, empathy, and respect. Let's explore 3 ways generous leaders treat email communication. Tip number 1, thoughtful replies over quick responses. Generous leaders don't aim for the fastest reply, they aim for the most thoughtful one. They don't just shoot back one-word answers or quick decisions. Instead, they take a moment to read between the lines, understand the sender's needs, and provide thoughtful feedback. And if they can't respond right away, they acknowledge the message and set expectations for more detailed follow-up. A coaching client of mine recently said, I realize that my emails are a reflection of how much I value people's contributions. Now I take a little extra time to show appreciation or offer insights rather than just getting the task done. So wise. One way to be really thoughtful, and this is masterclass level, is to modify our response based on the receiver's style preference. Ooh, because as generous leaders, we must always be aware of the preferences of others, not so we change, but rather we modify or adapt to make it easier for that other person to communicate with us. See R.O.G episode 119 on behavior style adaptation. Tip number 2, clarity and simplicity. Generosity also means respecting people's time. Generous leaders ensure their emails are clear and concise. They avoid jargon or overly complicated instructions. And by doing this, they save others from the frustration of decoding vague or unclear messages. They also take the time to format their emails using their headings, bullet points, bold text to emphasize key points to make it easier for the recipient to absorb the message quickly. Use the subject line, clean out the rest of the email thread that's no longer useful, check to see who's copied and if your attachments are correct, word weed and take out unnecessary words like as we discussed or this may seem obvious. Fillers and extras don't make the message clearer. It's not a conversation, it's a written correspondence with the purpose of connection, informing, and sharing. Tip number 3. Email as a platform for kindness. Generous leaders use email to share more than just work-related information. They seize opportunities to recognize achievement, express gratitude, and offer encouragement. It could be as simple as ending an email with a note of appreciation like, thanks for your hard work on this, or I really appreciate your effort. These small gestures have a big impact. How many times have you heard R.O.G guests say things like, I once received a simple thank you email after a big project, and it completely lifted my spirits. It wasn't expected, but it shows me that my value and work is appreciated. Like, I remember Pooja Midha saying that. James Rook said that. Several guests said that exact same thing, that early in their career, they got an email like this, unexpected, but really made the world of difference. And also frame your communication in a positive, solution-oriented way, like avoid negative language or focusing on how obstacles are the challenge, but rather how can we overcome those obstacles together? This is also an opportunity to assume positive intent. Easier to say than to do, but with email communication, it's a ripe opportunity for misinterpreting things. So see episode 103 of R.O.G for the benefit of the doubt episode. This kind of generosity fosters a positive culture where people feel seen and appreciated. The rule of 3 applies to email communication too. If you've gone back and forth 3 times on an issue, set up a call and have a discussion. Email communication is best for simple information exchanges. Those that include emotion or other complexity, it's best to meet in person or a virtual meeting. So to sum it up, generous leaders treat email as more than a task or a chore. They take the time to respond thoughtfully, ensure clarity, and use it as a tool for kindness. It's these small, intentional actions that build trust, foster connection, and drive generosity in the workplace. Thanks for listening to today's episode of R.O.G. Please join me next week with Joe Davis, author of The Generous Leader. Remember, generosity isn't a specific action. It's a mindset and a leadership strategy. Until next time, stay generous, everyone.
Thanks for listening to R.O.G. Return on Generosity podcast. Please help us grow by subscribing and reviewing us on your favorite podcast player. And for more information, visit bridgebetween.com. We grow when we give.
우리는 나누면서 성숙합니다.
We grow when we give.
On rayonne quand on donne.
We grow when we give.